So today I am down at my local forest and I'm just absolutely surrounded in bluebells. There are bluebells everywhere, all around me. Now I actually reckon I'm probably about a week early or so. Normally there would be a slightly better display than this, but it's still pretty amazing. It's still really beautiful, but probably a week early. So I may come back, but since I'm here, I'm going to try and get some really nice images. So some of you already know I am on a bit of a transitional journey between switching from Canon to Fuji X series gear. I have the XT2 at the minute and absolutely loving it. It's been an absolute joy to use. It has just probably sparked something back into my photography, just a renewed passion and a renewed desire to even just to pick up the camera, which on its own is amazing, but I've been really blown away by the image quality of it. And yeah, so it's been my go-to camera for a couple of weeks now for all my landscape work. But today's vlog is also going to look at this here, which is the Fujifilm XPRO2. So I do firstly need to give a massive shout out to Angus from Calumet in Belfast, who very, very, very kindly lent me this here, along with a 56mm and also this little 60mm macro lens. So yeah, really chuffed that these guys did that for me, and what I'm going to do is probably shoot a little bit with the XT2 and also with the XPRO2 as well, and just see how they compare. And so yeah, they are two very different cameras, but they're also quite similar, and I have tested this last night on an engagement shoot and I really loved it. The image quality was fantastic. Just a little bit strange having the viewfinder to one side, which is maybe going to take a little bit getting used to, but yeah, at the end of the day it's all about image quality, I guess, as well. So we will see how we get on. So probably what I'm going to be doing is shooting this with the 60mm macro, see how we get on, and then on the XT2 I have the 10 to 24mm. To be honest, I usually would use maybe soft edge grads if I'm shooting up into the sky when I'm doing bluebells, if I'm going for really extreme wide shots and you can kind of see the sky through the trees, but I'm going to try and restrict myself to purely just the polarizer. So this is a Format High-Tech circular polarizer. It's one of their Firecrest polarizers, and as you know, or you may know, I'm one of the brand ambassadors for Format High-Tech. Absolutely love their stuff, love their filters, love the whole system. But in order to put the Fuji really through its paces and just to see what the dynamic range is like, I'm going to try and not use grads and possibly either shoot bracketing or else possibly shoot for the highlights, and try and just see what I can underexpose and see what I can actually bring back in post, just to see how good the dynamic range on the XT2 and the XPRO2 actually is. So yeah, let's get going. So already I can see a massive difference between using the XT2 and the XPRO2. Just two very, very different cameras in a way to use. I think one of the really confusing things is that I actually always end up trying to put my eye to the middle of the camera for the viewfinder, whereas on the XPRO2 it's actually over to the left. But yeah, that's just a little niggle of a thing. But I've literally just grabbed a few shots with it, and I actually do think it's one of those cameras that I kind of could really easily talk myself into buying, because it's just an absolute joy. But it's kind of cool just to kind of grab it and just take a few snapshots, even without a tripod, and be really, really excited by the results that you're getting. So yeah, The light here is changing quite quickly and quite dramatically, which is really good. What I'm just doing now is looking for a few interesting compositions. Because the Bluebells aren't probably at their best, I may have to try and shoot a little bit lower to the ground so that it gives the impression that there's actually more Bluebells out than there really are. So a little tip, if you can and you have to, don't be afraid of getting low to the ground and shooting up into the sky, because it does dramatically change the shot. So what I've done here is I have set up a shot with the 60mm macro lens. What it's doing, you find when you're shooting Bluebells, if you're using a slightly longer lens, that you can normally get a little bit more of a compressed kind of feel, which actually does really suit this. I've already shot the XT2 with the 10-24, so I've done a really extreme wide angle shot, really low to the ground, shooting straight up into the trees. This one here is going to be very different. I'm shooting down at 2.4, which is the lowest that this one, this 60mm lens will go to. And basically I'm focusing on a tree trunk here, and we've got some really nice low hanging leaves, and then obviously the carpet of Bluebells leading the eye towards the tree. And I'm basically just waiting until just like there now, where we have a little burst of sun that's actually just hitting the tree, but it's quite dappled light, so it's kind of just all over the place. And I have spot metered. So basically what I'm trying to do is expose for the highlights. So the scene's going to be probably quite dark, but hopefully we're going to get some really nice shafts of light coming through. I was shooting a little bit higher, but I've dropped the camera down just a little bit lower because it just brings me a little bit closer to the Bluebells, and as I'm shooting across, it just makes it look like there's actually more of them that are out because there's more purple, and I don't actually see, because I'm not shooting down on the green grass, so I'm not actually seeing as much of it. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of waiting here just to get another little burst of light. The light just seems to want to come and go here. One of the things I do notice immediately about the XPRO2 is that it doesn't have the tilting screen, which I guess being used with Canon, I never was used with it, but using the XT2 over the last number of weeks, I always seem to use the tilt screen now, and I've really got used to it, so I kind of am missing it, especially for shots that you're lower to the ground. It's so easy just to flip the screen out, but yeah, it's just a minor niggle. I guess it's not a really bad negative, but it's just something when I'm comparing it to the XT2, just kind of jumps out at me straight away. But so far the focusing is really fast, and the image quality seems to be perfect. So yeah, just need a little bit of light. Please come back. So the wind has picked up, and I had a little bit of an intention of actually doing some micro stuff, but it's just so windy, so change of plan. Last shot I'm going to try and get here is just a little bit of I guess it's another more intimate kind of a shot. So what I'm actually doing on the XPRO2 here, I'm spot metering on the light that's hitting the Bluebell, and I'm shooting it with the 60mm macro at 2.4, and I'm actually underexposing by just over a stop. So basically I'm wanting everything else to be pretty dark and just the light that's hitting the Bluebell. Now I'm trying to use the rule of thirds and put the Bluebell in the top right hand corner, but Just because of the wind, it's moving it about. It's actually making it quite hard to even get focused on it here. But hopefully, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to literally take a series of shots here and hope that one of them will actually be sharp, because everything's just moving about and it's making it really, really hard. And obviously, because there's such a shallow depth of field, it's making it a little bit harder as well to keep it in focus. But if it works, it'll be good. If it doesn't work, well, no harm. But yeah, so impressions of the XPRO2. I was a little bit unsure about it, I have to admit, because I did do an engagement shoot last night with it and the XT2, and the handling of them, the setup of the two cameras was quite different. So what I found when I was switching from one to the other, I was just struggling to remember where the buttons were. Having said that, the quality, the image quality that has been coming out of it is phenomenal. It is the same resolution and the same sensor as the XT2, so I know that that's not going to be an issue. But what I actually do really love about it is just the feel and the usability of it. It's just really fun to use, and I think sometimes we can get really caught up on just the end product, and obviously that's important, but for me, my journey to the Fuji X series stuff has just been it's been a joy, it's been fun. I'm actually really, really excited to be out shooting, no matter what it is. And I have been a little bit undecided whether to buy another XT2 or whether to buy an XT2 and an XPRO2. I can see the merits of having the two the same, because obviously you know where everything is and muscle memory and all of that kind of stuff, so you can literally go and change settings without even thinking about it. But there is something about this XPRO2 that, I don't know, it's very intriguing and it's very, very exciting to use. So watch this space, I guess. I'm really not sure what to do, but yeah, loving the Fuji stuff. Has definitely added something to my photography. It's sparked something, it's reignited something, which I'm not saying it was kind of stagnant, but sometimes you do go through a lull of doing the same stuff. You go to the same spots, you shoot the same things, and I guess just changing the system is, yeah, it's just, it keeps things fresh, I guess. And just by way of a disclaimer, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Canon. I still do love my Canon stuff. There was never an issue with image quality. One of the big reasons was just the weight and the size, and I did have experience using the Fuji X stuff with the XT1 for a while and loved it, and it's just a fresh take on my photography, hopefully. So yeah, it's what I'm hoping to kind of put across in these vlogs is nothing to do with technical details, but rather it's just my journey. So it is, it's just my journey. So yeah, cool. So the light is pretty much gone, so I reckon I'm just going to pack up and maybe head towards the car and see if there's anything more exciting that we can get on the way back, and if not, we'll call it a day. So I reckon that's going to do me for the day. Hopefully got some really nice stuff there, some beautiful light, and big shout out again to Angus in Calumet and Belfast, who very, very kindly lent me the Fuji XPRO2 and a couple of lenses for it. And yeah, so big shout out to them. If you do have a chance, make sure and pay them a visit. It's calphoto.co.uk, I think, and they're based on Boucher Road. So do make sure, if you do need any photographic gear, speak to Angus or Kelly up there and they'll get you sorted out. So yeah, massive thumbs up to those guys. Also, thanks to everybody who has been subscribing and liking and sharing and leaving comments on the latest stuff. If you do have any questions, as always, please do leave them below. Please do subscribe, and please do share the content with your friends. It would be much appreciated. So until next time, thanks for watching, and yeah, catch you soon.